The Lotus Emira, yes, we have driven this car before.
But not like this. This is the Turbo.
Complete with the Esprit-style turbo badging and the most traditional Lotus engine of them all, an inline-four. So, how does it compare to that supercharged V6? Well, time to find out.
G'day, I'm Sean Summerfield and welcome to The Garage.
Subscribe to see the first drives of New Zealand's newest and best cars driven on New Zealand roads and New Zealand conditions. Exactly 3 years ago to the day we first drove the Emira, and even in pre-production left-hand drive form, it was awesome.
It's like an automotive peep show, and I'm not ashamed to say I quite like watching it.
Really, Sean, an automotive peep show? Oh, I can see where I was coming from. Okay, now we're ready for another drive.
This time with the steering wheel on the right and a completely different drivetrain.
This is the Turbo, which swaps the Toyota-sourced 3.5-litre supercharged V6 for a 4-cylinder turbo.
And it's not just any 4-cylinder turbo. That engine right behind my head comes from AMG. It's the same unit that turned that A45 Merc into a hyper hatch. So it's more than qualified to power the Lotus Emira.
Look, in reality, it's overqualified because Lotus have tuned it down from the 310 kilowatts in the A45 to produce 268 in the Emira, conveniently keeping it below the V6's 298 kilowatts. Our torque is also toned down from the AMG's 500 to 406.
The reason I mention that is to give you a solid idea of just what this engine is capable of. And there's one other thing. If we've learned anything about Lotus, it was only going to be a matter of time before they upped the game and squeezed more out of this engine. And well, they have. The SE version of the Emira, which is on its way to New Zealand, comes with over 400 horsepower.
But even as it is, the 4 with its 8-speed dual-clutch gearbox can still match the manual version of the V6 in a 0 to 100 km/h sprint.
But I take that one with a grain of salt, and I'll explain why. You see, in the real world, away from official statements and model hierarchy, testers have recorded times, these are independent testers, of 0 to 100 in under 4 seconds, thanks in no small part to launch control. Yep, I believe them. It's properly quick. That launch control is awesome. That's the perfect kind of launch control. You can use it on a normal road. All the drama you need, but no drama. Actually, I'm just a little bit suspicious that this car produces just 268 kilowatts. It just feels so much more alive. Actually, so much quicker than the V6. I might be wrong, just a vibe.
On top of that, it delivers even more because not only is the AMG engine lighter, it's smaller, so it's fitted closer to the middle of the car.
Unlike the V6, you can't see the engine at work, and that sort of sums up what's going on here, because there's more change than just the number of cylinders. There's a whole lot of changes around that new power plant, but like that motor, they're all undercover.
Under the covers, there's a new subframe and different suspension components, and along with that 8-speed dual clutch is an E-diff.
It's all very good, but for me the coolest thing is the turbo. Well, more specifically, this turbo sticker, because as a child of the 70s and 80s, it didn't get any cooler than a Lotus Esprit, more specifically, the Esprit Turbo.
What doesn't have a link to Lotus's past is Well, the way they raided the parts bin to build their interiors. Those cars used parts from Austin Maxis and Triumph 2000 to complete the cabin.
It's when you sit in the interior, you're reminded how much of a departure the Emira is from Lotus's sports car past. This is not just worthy of its price tag, it's a match for the competition, and we're talking serious competition for this car. Dare I say it, even Porsche.
It's still closer to minimal than luxe, but if you're taking on the likes of Porsche, you really need to bring your A game right across the board. You do get great seats, Kev sound, and a 10.25-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Externally though, the Emira is faultless. This is without doubt one of the prettiest mid-engine cars ever built. From every angle, yes, there's more than a touch of Ferrari there, but it also looks like an evolution of the Evora with some Avaya mixed in as well. Now look, the 4 and 6 aren't just close when it comes to performance and spec, they're also priced the same.
So really it comes down to how they drive, and I will say there is one area that this Turbo 4 can't match the V6, and that's sonically. Here's a recap.
The 4 not so much a ghostly groan, but more of a grumble. But it's more nimble, noticeably sharper, and that really is saying something. And like the V6, it has hydraulically assisted steering.
Gosh, I will say about the only thing, speaking of old school, that I do miss about the V6 is that manual gearbox. But I have to say, the match between this power unit and the DCT is dead on.
What shines, and you will expect this with the Lotus, is balance. Balance and balance. It's a drive that is even more perfect with this 4-cylinder. It's more pointy and in motion more perky. And overall, in the real world, it's quicker than the V6.
More like a Lotus, and remember the best Lotuses, in my opinion, came with 4 cylinders. And like the Esprit, it has enough of that sort of supercar look and feel. I say supercar, I mean Lotus supercar. Not as extreme when it comes to sort of numbers and noise, but it does it in that Lotus way. It's just all about yummy, fizzy fun and just being bloody fantastic.